Thank you for joining me for Thoughts to Freedom. My name is Kim, and in my videos I help people to identify and to change their thoughts to achieve freedom. And freedom is salvation, joy, and happiness. I have developed a system that you can use to guide yourself to the greater consciousness that is comparing a radio to your brain and using two radio stations as the two thought systems. This would be EGO 15 and Free 100, and I've got those over here. And with Free 100, you can access 100% of what's available in life. And with EGO 15, you are only able to access 15%. And so for today, let us look at the emotions associated with each thought system or radio station and what you're listening to in terms of your feelings or your emotional reaction to it. So I have listed them out here, and the ego, which is your small self, is listed over here, and over here is the spiritual feelings and emotions that you'll have. And both of them are broadcasted. And it is really quite a contrast between the two, a real dichotomy. It's really quite black and white. And on the ego thought systems, there are an assortment of feelings, an array of emotions. And I've topped it off with hatred. And sometimes you feel hatred flowing from a person when they stand right next to you, and they can have so much hatred in them that it becomes uncomfortable just to stand next to them. And this is like someone who is wearing a strong perfume or cologne, and maybe you don't like the smell, and anyway, you don't feel good. And that's the easiest example that I have of hatred from your ego. And the spiritual side of life does not produce any hatred. Under that, I put another strong dislike felt for a person or a situation, and that's anger. And this does not exist either. And the spiritual side, you can't find any hate, you can't find any anger. So if you shout at somebody really loudly with anger, that is made up by the ego, and it does not really exist. It is a false emotion by many. And all these emotions are made up by the ego, and fear is something created by external forces that are trying to control us. We become fearful when we believe something is dangerous and will cause pain or is a threat somehow to us, or something that might kill us. And this can drive the consumers to purchase something or buy a gadget that will provide a sense of safety for them and eliminate fear. And the media and large corporations really make their money off your fear sometimes or many times. And fear can help you, though, if you are in the midst of some wild animal chasing after you. And fear does have a place there, so you need to get out of the way. So anyway, I'd like to also talk about guilt. And it's something that you did wrong, and those are your feelings about it. And you caused conflict, or you did something wrong. And the best thing to do in that situation is to ask for forgiveness. And even if the other person was in the wrong and it was their mistake, don't worry about it. Free yourself up from the guilt. Say you are sorry, period, and let it go. And so anyway, that'll be the best way to handle that. So there's also depression and melancholy, and this does not exist on the spiritual side of life. Depression is really a diagnosis by the medical professionals, and many medicines are prescribed for this. In fact, there is a cornucopia of medications listed and treatments that can be prescribed for a price, of course. And unfortunately, the healthcare system does make money off of the people that are sick. So, resentments also are on my list, and this is to harbor resentments only really against someone only really hurts yourself. And the paradox is that you're harmed. So this is really toxic, and you need to forgive them, you need to forgive yourself, you need to go on, and you need to get rid of it. Jealousy is on my list, and within the spiritual world, there's not a feeling of jealousy. And so this really doesn't exist either. So there are actually other things here. Emptiness is a good one, and you can feel like you're not worthy. You can feel like you'll never feel good or feel full. But on the spiritual side, there is no feelings of emptiness over here. Once you listen to the spiritual side of life or the radio station that I'm always referring to. So anyway, over on the spiritual side, there is just love over here and everything that is associated with love. And love is having a very deep affection for someone or something. And this connection can be fostered, and it's beyond the superficial things in life. The superficial things in life are over here and heard on EGO 15 radio station that I've outlined over here or painted about over here. And then, of course, the spiritual side, Spirit Free 100, that is the side that you want to listen to. You want to get in tune to that. And so I, again, recommend that you get out a piece of paper and label one side the ego side and the other one the spiritual side. And think about your thoughts and write them down. Are they from your ego? Well, they would be these type of emotions or emotional behaviors. And then you can write other thoughts you have, and if they're loving thoughts, joyful thoughts, they're from the spiritual world. They're from Free 100. And if you think more like this, you will, in fact, be closer to enlightenment. You certainly will have a chance at going through more of a spiritual awakening. So again, the ego has these emotions or emotional behaviors: hatred, anger, fear, guilt, depression, resentment, jealousy, emptiness. And the spiritual side of life, your thoughts will revolve around love, joy, happiness, gratitude, hope, inspiration, faith, and compassion. So thank you very much for joining me here on Thoughts to Freedom, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.